Hey guys, Wick here, and welcome to my first ever weekly markets review. Today we will be covering Bitcoin, the stock market, and gold. You'll notice I will be going at a slower pace with these YouTube videos, and I will be getting more in-depth on my technical analysis. So starting off, we have a weekly chart of Bitcoin here. If you do follow me on Twitter, you are very familiar with this channel that I've outlined. Okay. We started off here having more than 3 touches that define the upper end of the channel. When we lost some weakness, we had touches over here that defined the lower part of the channel. And currently we're at the very top end of the channel, and we did have a little bit of a rejection today. So let's zoom out real quick and let's get a better market overview. Okay. Okay, so there we have it. This is the highs in 2017, and you can see that this $14,000 level actually became resistance. And the last time that we were there was June 2019. We touched this level and had a very, very hard rejection. I mean, this is when we ended up going down to 3,500, guys. And right now is the first time since it's the first time since we broke down in 17 that we're actually above this $14,000 level. So this is a very, very bullish scenario, even though we are at the upper end of the channel here. So let's go ahead and put on one of my indicators so we can further see some more things that are happening here. Okay, again, we're on the weekly chart of Bitcoin here, guys, and you can see during this large squeeze areas are where volatility builds up, and there's usually a violent break to the downside or upside, which is always signaled by our arrows following the squeeze. So you can see here that we played it nicely, and the reason why I'm trying to show you this is because this is what happened to get us above the 14K level, is that we did go through a volatility squeeze, followed by a breakout to the upside, which is where we are now. And if we go back back to 2017 and even 2016 here, you can see there was a squeeze here followed by arrows for the bull run, right? That pretty much stayed at the upper end of the Bollinger Bands. Now, I know there's no signals here to keep you in the move. Don't worry, guys, I've made those and we'll be adding them to the suites soon. So these darker green arrows are signs of strength and signs of weakness coming down, okay? So I'm showing you these because I'm going to use them later to show signs of strength and weakness. All right, guys, that pretty much does it for our weekly review. So let's go ahead and switch to the daily. Let's take all of this off first. Okay, switch to the daily charts. Okay, so as you can see, I was just reading my notes here that I made for you guys. We had some cluster touches over here, again, that define the upper range, and here that define the lower range of the channel. If you guys remember, when we were at this lower end of the channel, I told you guys not to worry. It's exactly where we should be, and that I'm still bull, and this was at, you know, around $10,600. You can see since then we've had a nice breakout to the upside. No worries. So let's see here. And you can see here that today we did touch the upper channel and get rejected. So furthermore, this channel is really valid, guys. It's really valid. Let's go ahead and turn on some support and resistance here. Okay, so you can see we had some resistance here, couldn't break above that level. When it did so in great fashion. And again, it had some resistance here, and when it broke above it, it did so in great fashion. And once again, the 14K line, it broke through it, and that's where we currently are. Now, how do we get through each one of those resistance areas? Well, if I turn on the strength and weakness, you can see that we finally got through this resistance from a big sign of strength. Big sign of strength that broke us through, and the same thing right here, and again right here. Okay, and if you do turn on our squeeze indicator, our high time frame squeeze indicator, again, I mean, guys, this is how I've been playing this channel the whole time. Let me turn off the support and resistance. You can see we had a squeeze here, a long entry signal, touched the upper channel, brought us all the way down, squeezes to the downside, and then squeezes to the upside once we were near the bottom of the channel. Try to touch the upper end again, lost confidence, went into another squeeze, long signal, a sign of strength, and this is where we currently are. So guys, I'm just showing you that these indicators are great ways to play channels as well, and this is how I have been playing it. Now, let me look at my notes here. Okay, so that should pretty much do it. Let's see. If we do get rejected again from this 14K level and we do start to break down, let's go ahead and draw some fibs and see where we should end up here. And I'll tell you what, let me go ahead and take off my, my indicators so you guys can see it more clearly. All right, so if we take it from the swing low here to the swing high at 14K, you can see that this 0.236 fib level does kind of coincide right there with the 14K, well, now hopefully support level, right? So if this did have to see some weakness, I would expect it to find support here near the 14K level. And if it did happen to break through that, guys, I still wouldn't be bearish. I would simply just watch this lower channel for support, just like it was right here, right? And you can see that it had a very hard time trying to break through the support. So that's pretty strong. But, you know, this is even stronger, guys. So these two are really, really great support levels for us. Let's see if we zoom out, if we go onto the weekly chart again real quick. We try and, you know, get some projections or kind of just have some clarity on the upside. Now that we've got some downside targets, you can see this. Let's see. Right about this. So yeah, so I would say that this right here would probably be our next resistance level, right? And that's at 16,150. So that would be my next target. But as I said, this channel has been pretty strong, and we're at the upper end of the channel. So I do see a little bit of a retrace, and then try to test this upper resistance, and then we'll review it when we get there. As I said, guys, when I make levels, I never take trades on support or on resistance. I always wait for the market to tell me what she's going to do. Because it's best to catch a move once it's already happened than to be wrong in a move when you're trying to catch bottoms or tops. Okay, guys, let's get stuck into the S&P 500. This is a weekly chart of the SPX. So as you can see, we had a lot of volatility during the election cycle. But the first thing I'm going to do is draw some resistance that I see, which is about right there. Perfect. So one thing I'll say about support and resistance is that I'm a firm believer that they are actually zones or areas, not specific actual targets right down to the line. So this here is a area of resistance, and you can see that today, through the volatility. We did get a big sign of strength today, and we did have a somewhat rejection at this level. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit. And I will tell you that the good news is that if we can reclaim this area above this resistance and close above it this next week, then there is no overhead resistance, guys. There's none. So that is a great sign when there's no overhead resistance in the past, right? So as long as we can reclaim over this level, I am still very bullish. Let's go ahead and turn on some support and resistance. Okay, let's see here. Now I do see this level here, and I do think that it is valid, right? Because you came down here, you kind of tested this area. When it did break, it broke violently. Okay, came back, try to test this area again right here. And this is what I'm talking about, guys, when I say I think of them as zones or areas, right? Because this is valid to me. So this is a valid rejection to me. We tried it again and we broke through it and we hit this resistance, and that's kind of where we're at right now. We're trying to break above this resistance, at 3511. Now let's go and see how the indicator did through all these moves. So just to review here real quick, you can see that here's areas of squeezes again, tightened volatility, breakout to the upside, touch the 20-day moving average, another breakout to the upside. They wanted a breakout to the upside and they pushed for it, they got it. And then here's where you had, our basic short recession that we had, right, out of the blue. And then we had the rebound back. Here you had a momentum. A green bar shows momentum to the upside. And again, this is the range that we're stuck in with the election cycle. But I do like this sign of strength. Again, I would just like to see it close above this resistance finally before I get bullish on the S&P 500. Other than that, where could it pull back to? Well, let me go ahead and draw some support lines. So I really like this one, actually. I know it doesn't look clear to a lot of people, but I kind of like it. You can see that, as I said, it broke down violently here when it broke below it, tested it here, finally broke above it for a nice little run, and then hit support again right here, and this is the range that we're currently in. So if I had to play anything right now, guys, I would honestly sideline. If this does show some weakness, obviously my next target would be this support area here, which it's reacted to in the past. And again, I would like it, though, to break out to the upside. I think that if it did break out and hold above this level, that it should break this all-time high pretty easily. And that just goes ahead and does it for my weekly review of the S&P 500. Just real quick on the daily, the same thing. You can see we had squeezes, breakout to the upside, squeezes, breakout to the upside, all very valid signals. Gray bars show a downtrend. And yeah, this was, actually, the more I look at it, guys, this is a double bottom. Okay, so here we have the second bottom, and here we have the first bottom right here at support. And I'll go ahead and turn off my indicator here so it's more clear for you guys. Okay, but definitely this is a double bottom. Again, just to reiterate one more time, if we hold above this resistance line here, I'm very bullish, no overhead resistance. Okay, guys, let's get stuck into some gold for all of you gold bugs. It's been a great year. I've been stuck into gold myself a few times. I believe in February or March, right around here was the lows. I got into some gold miners, but let's just analyze gold. And I think this one's a good one to do some stage analysis. So let's zoom out for a little bit. And again, this is the weekly chart. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so we can see that this was resistance. Okay, every time we touched this line or got close to this area, we got rejected. And when we did break out, we broke out in a great fashion. Okay, but let's zoom out some more and get some insight here. So this resistance defines a stage 1 basing. Okay, that went on for years. Okay, but in the past, we did go from a stage 2 uptrend, which is what this is. Okay, to another stage 3 base consolidation, and then right into a stage 4 downtrend. Okay, and that is classical stage analysis. So now if we go to where we are now, we have gone through a stage 1 base, we've gone through a stage 2 breakout uptrend, and it looks like we're starting another stage 3 base. So what happens after this, okay, is that we either go into continuation uptrend or we start that stage 4 downtrend. Okay, that's it for stage analysis here on gold. Let's go ahead and put on some more support and resistance lines. Okay, so there they are. We'll zoom in a little bit. Let's see how we broke through them. Let's put on some strength and weakness. And here you can see here, guys, starting here, we had a sign of weakness. And again, these are indicators that I will add to the suite. So if all you guys are wondering where they are, we've just now developed these. So breakout to the downside, right, from a sign of weakness. We had some resistance here and some resistance here. It was broken through with signs of strength again. Another resistance zone over here, broken through with a sign of strength. And one more time, this is where we are right now, sign of strength, okay? Let's go ahead and take that off, and we'll look at the high time frame. And I'm doing this to help my members that have the indicators better utilize them and analyze the markets. So again, we're on the weekly chart, and we can see here we went through a squeeze over here. Well, I mean, starting off over here, break to the downside with arrows to the downside, squeeze here, break to the upside, squeeze here, another break to the upside, okay? And again, if we turn the strength and weakness signals on, you can see that we've just got play-by-play. Now let's take those off, and let's go back to the daily chart. We can leave those on. Okay, so let's get stuck into some recent price action here. Okay, so as you can see, we've seen a bit of weakness. This is your stage 3 base. It did break support here, and then it became resistance, right? Broke above, gap down below, and this is basically your range. You've got your resistance at the top, and you've got your support at the bottom. Now, just recently, okay, we did have a sign of strength, a gap on the open, and plus a big candle, okay? So this is good. This is good. But now if we draw some more support and resistance lines, okay, you can see that there's, I mean, it's tough. I would say all the way from over here, this zone right here is resistance. Again, I'm a bit different. I believe in resistance areas, support and resistance areas, and that's where I would kind of look right here, right, at these little resistance zones. So maybe even down here, okay? I would look for that to be our next area of weakness. If we do break above that, again, guys, the gold story is back on the table where we have no overhead resistance and the sky is the limit. Let's zoom out a little bit again. Okay, let's go ahead and put on our indicators now and just see what they're telling us. Okay, well, let's go ahead and put on the strength and the weakness. And as you can see, guys, it's broken. It's helped to define all our breakouts of the resistance zones that we've had. Okay, let's take that off. Let's go into some squeeze breakout areas. So again, here, squeeze, breakout to the upside, touch that this resistance that it touched twice, couldn't break through it, lost a lot of confidence, and yeah, I mean, this has played out pretty well. Here's another squeeze area, long signal. You can see this was a really nice move, and currently we're in this zone here, this channel, which we've just now broken up to the upside from a squeeze that has a green arrow. So in my opinion, I would say that we get this. I would say that we're going to test this level right here. And if we break through this level of resistance, the sky's the limit. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it, guys. Let's now go ahead and one more time, we're going to switch to the weekly. Let's take off all my indicators. Okay, and let's just analyze this one more time. So if we do take some fib levels and we go from the swing low to the swing high, you can see that it did end up breaking down to around the just below the 618 level, right? Right over here is when you saw all of the support. So if we go now and we take it from the swing low, let's see what our absolute downside could look like. And I know all you gold bugs don't want to hear this, but I always look at what the possible downside is. So I would say that's the swing low right here, the most recent swing low. Okay, and if we take that to the top, oof. And look, the 618 coincides just with this support, right? And when that happens, it's not coincidence. It just shows us that if we do have a breakdown right? That is, these two here are the next levels of support. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm actually pretty pretty bullish on gold, guys. So again, if this breaks through this area, I will be looking for some longs, and I will be setting a stop loss right under this support. Okay, guys, that kind of wraps it up for my markets review. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And the only way that I can gauge if you are interested and you guys are watching this is if you like and give me some subscribes to my YouTube channel. Again, if I do hear a good reaction and see a good reaction, I will make a lot more of these videos. And if you do like my indicators, you can also go check us out at tradingalpha.io, and you can go check out our indicators over there and grab them if you want to. Okay, guys, this wraps up my first weekly analysis, and I will see you next Thursday. Take care.